Hi everyone, welcome to another video. So this is my second attempt at filming this video. For whatever reason, when I finished filming the video and then I went to start editing it and I just did not like how it looked, so I refilmed. But I may incorporate some of the footage from yesterday's filming and in today. So if I do look a little bit different, that's why. I tried to replicate the look as much as I can, but there may be some overlapping things here and there. What I thought was going to be really fun is that I just didn't want to show you a fail video, like a bunch of fails. What I'd like to do is try and incorporate some products that I would recommend. They're products that I'm not going to say they're going to be dupes, but they are going to be quite comparable. And I'm going to say alternatives to the fail products. Sometimes there may be like a different consistency in the texture, or maybe the shade, or whatever formula, maybe the applicator or that sort of thing may be different. But anyhow, you kind of get the gist, but you'll understand when I start actually getting into the video what I'm talking about. I have about 10 to 12 products that are, just didn't work on my skin. I'm not going to say that they're total fails for everybody. They just didn't work for me, but they may work on you. So I always try to give that disclaimer because everybody's skin tone is different. Everybody's texture on their skin is different. Everybody has varying degrees of like dryness, oily skin, all that sort of stuff. So they were just a fail on my skin. And all the products that I'm recommending, I tried to incorporate them into my routine here today. So most of those products I should be wearing. All of those will be listed down in the description box down below. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first product we're going to talk about today is eyebrows. And I'm always looking for a different, like an eyebrow product that not necessarily isn't a pencil. Sometimes I'd like to try, to make my eyebrows just a little bit darker, give it some tint. So the first product that I tried that I just didn't like for myself was the L'Oreal Micro Ink Pen. Now, what I didn't like about this is I was looking for more of a precise type of product for my eyebrows, and as you can see here, it almost has like a little comb, and it's supposed to give you like those hair-like strokes. If I'll show you the packaging, and then you can see right here it shows how it's supposed to give those hair-like strokes. So my opinion was they almost looked a little bit fake. I found that the combing kind of part of it that were supposed to give me those hair-like strokes just didn't get all into those little areas that I wanted them to. I usually don't take like the tail right down because I find that drags my eye down. I try and, when I'm doing my hairs, I try and blend them out. Like my natural hairs do go down to this area here, so I'm trying to blend them out, but I just found it a little bit difficult to do with this particular pen. And it didn't last, like it says it's supposed to last for 48 hours. I mean, when I washed my face at the end of the night, like it was gone. Like I looked at my eyebrows and like, okay, well that was clearly not 48 hours. So that was a fail for me. But the pen that I actually do enjoy using for like more of like a tint in the eyebrow, it's the NYX, the Lift and Snatch. Now what I do like about this one is it has a real like a pointy type of like a end to it, and it does give you that really precise line. I should say that I have this one in the shade Brunette. I mean, if I even just do it right now, like I can get really into those sparse areas that maybe a pencil doesn't fill in, and it lasts like throughout the whole day. It doesn't fade. Now, something that I do with my eyebrows, I'm not going to say every day, but if I want them to stay in place all day, or I'm doing more of like a glam look, I do like to use a wax type of product, or like a brow mascara. So the one that was viral all over TikTok was this NYX Thick It Stick It brow mascara type of product. This just did not work for me. First, I'll show you kind of what the wand looks like. So it almost looks like a mascara. Very, very thick. When I was putting it through my brows, like it was kind of going over, like I like my brows to be very precise and it was kind of going up along here. I almost kind of looked like Groucho Marx. It just was not a very good look. So this was a big fail for me. But the product that I do like to use as a brow wax is the Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt. Now this one I like because the little wand on it is way smaller. And there's actually two sides of the one. If you can see, that one is quite a long end. And then there's like a little short end over here. And that fits perfectly in my eyebrows. And this stays in place all day. What I like about this one is I purchased it in the clear, like translucent shade, because I've already done my eyebrows with a color that I want. And all I'm looking for is for them to stay in place. So moving on now to a foundation that just did not work for my skin. Revlon Color Stay Light Cover Foundation. I have this in the shade 210. It's supposed to be 12 hours of wear, and it's a natural finish. Now keep in mind, I understood when I bought the product that it would give me that natural finish. It I think was being marketed as wearing it on like a no makeup day. It's supposed to even out your skin tone, kind of give you some buildable coverage. So a few things that I didn't like about it were, even though it says it's supposed to last for like 12 hours, I found it really did fade in a bunch of spots. So I'll insert the thumbnails wherever I can if I've used the products in a video, and if I had my thoughts on them at that point, I'll just put the thumbnail here for you and you can go check it out yourself. So I won't go into a bunch of detail with a bunch of these things, but it's the one thing, it's very liquidy. So you can maybe hear how liquidy that is. It does come like with a squeezy kind of tube. What I found is this is like when it's runny, it's pretty runny. Even when you rub it in, now that was actually quite a lot. You can see it. I found it to be, it's supposed to be very hydrating as well. And that's what kind of drew me in. I like hydrating type of products. And what I found was it felt very drying actually on my face. So just from rubbing it in, you can kind of see my veins are still kind of poking through. So that when it is a very light coverage, and it says it's buildable, but I really found I couldn't build it up all that much. And like even now when I'm have it on my hand like this, it just feels like it's not silky at all. It's not like, it's actually drying. Like when I'm going like this, like my fingers together feel very dry. So I just quickly went and washed my hands, because the next product I'm going to show you is the product that I actually really do like if you're looking for more of like a natural foundation, very lightweight. And it's the Covergirl Clean Fresh. This is called a Skin Milk. And I was very intrigued when I first saw that. It says it's a nourishing foundation, and I have it on today. I can't remember if I told you guys that already. Most of these products I am wearing today, the ones that I'm recommending. So I have this one in the shade A Fair Light. Now this one also does come as a squeezy tube, but what I do find is it's a little bit runny. Even though it says that it is like a lightweight, this one gives me way more coverage. So even as I'm rubbing it in, you can see how this one is totally different. Look at how much my veins are covered up. So I really like this one. It feels very light on the face, very nourishing. This one, when it does say that it's hydrating, it really does feel hydrating on my face. It gives me like a glowy appearance. And this one doesn't settle into my fine lines like the Revlon one did. And I find it even gives me like a little bit of like a blurring effect through this area here where I have my pores. And it does such a great job of just evening out my skin tone. And then it's also Covergirl, so it's a cruelty-free product if that's important to you. Now, keeping the theme with foundations, I generally don't gravitate to powder foundations. I find for my dry skin, they just accentuate every fine line. They don't look good on my skin and suck every bit of moisture out of my skin. So I was quite intrigued when I saw the big hype about this product. Again, another viral TikTok. Sometimes I don't always believe those ones, but I actually watched one mature lady on there. She tried this product and she absolutely loved it, was raving about it. And I'm like, oh, well, I got to try it. If it works on her skin, then it must work on mine. So I did a whole first impression video on this. I'll put it here. Not going to go into much detail because this just did not work on my skin. So it's the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation in a Powder. So if you're familiar with this, they've come out with a bunch of different products now with this theme. So there is a blush now and there's a bronzer. I actually really like the bronzer. It's very nice. But this powder did not work on me. Oh my goodness, my skin looked awful, awful, awful. It's even when I go like this, like it's not, I'm gonna say, overly like silky. It feels like even as I'm going like this, it just feels dry. It just feels really, really dry. Now, there is a couple of products I will recommend that they are powder foundations, but they're not drugstore. I have not found a drugstore foundation, like a powder foundation that just really fills my needs. So one of my new finds, and I do have it on today, I used it just to give myself a little bit more coverage where the Covergirl didn't give me like complete coverage. I just went in with this powder. So it's the Bare Minerals Bare Pro. What I will say about this one is this is a totally different formula. This feels very silky. Like as soon as I'm even running my finger through there, it is super soft, silky. Like this just feels like butter right now as I'm doing this. It doesn't make me look all cakey and dry. The reason that I do like powder foundations, if I can wear them, if I find the right formula, is they're just such a quick and easy out the door product. Most of them will come with like a little sponge type of product. You can, and like I love how I can just throw this in my purse, like it's a little compact. Throw it in my purse, and if I want to touch up the rest of it, like throughout the day, I can do that. But this one, you just use a little bit of powder, and then I'm not going to do a bunch today because I've already put some on here. So I find powder foundations are really good. If you are somebody that has like more oily skin or like normal skin, you would probably do really well with a powder foundation. And then another one that I really, really enjoy using this one is the Fenty Beauty. This is the Pro Filter powder foundation. I also did a first impression on this one as well. But even when you go like this, again, it's that same kind of texture. Very, very silky. I'm going to say the Bare Minerals has a little bit more of a softer texture than the Fenty Beauty. But I've used this one like a lot. You can see like the little sponges, quite well used. So this is, again, another great one if you are somebody that does like a powder foundation. And you can go check out the video if you want. I'll link a bunch of the videos down below for you in the description box, and because I'm just not going to go into a bunch of detail. Moving on to concealers. So I am always on the hunt for a great concealer, and I thought I had found a good one when people rave about this concealer. So I thought, okay, well, I have to try it. And this was probably one of the biggest fails I've had as a concealer. And surprisingly, because I love the brand, so it's from NYX Cosmetics. It's the Bye Bye Undereye Concealer. And I mean, you can see this is just like a tiny, so for the amount of money that I paid for this product, was not impressed that it didn't work. And you literally only need like a dot. So can you see like that little microscopic dot? Because it is considered full coverage. When I started putting it on, and keep in mind, I really hydrate under my eyes extremely well. I wear eye cream. I will prime under my eye. I'm always trying to make sure that my under eye area is very nourished because I have so many, fine lines under there. Even right now, as I'm running it on my hand, I can barely, it's so tacky. Like this is actually sticky right now as I'm going like this. It's sticky. Pretty much immediately after I put it on, as I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, what the heck? I could see every fine line under my eye, and it just looked awful. Like it looked awful. So I was like, oh my goodness, like what is everybody, like what is all the hype about with this one? This is not working for me. What the funny thing is on like the actual packaging, it says, okay, so full coverage, but it says anti-aging. Well, this is not anti-aging. This is like pro-aging. This was the most awful concealer I have ever used. Like just, yeah, I'm not gonna go on about it. It was awful. So then I thought, okay, well, let's try this drugstore version because I saw people raving about this. It's really, really good. And no, this was a big fail for me as well. It's the Revlon Color Stay Skin Awaken 5-in-1 Concealer. So this one has like one of those little sponge tip applicators. But this one did almost, like, I'm not going to say as bad as the NYX Cosmetics one, but this one made my under eyes look pretty bad. It looked, by the end of the night, it had worn off. It was dry. It looked cakey. But when I would squint, like even after a few hours and I kind of was going like this, oh my goodness, it just looked horrible, horrible under my eyes. Now, if you're looking for something that has the sponge tip applicator, I do really like the Maybelline Age Rewind. I just don't have one right now because I haven't bought it probably in a couple years. I've been trying so many other concealers, but I know it's a cult classic and has been around forever. So that one I do like. I'll put a picture here if you're not familiar with it. I said there was a bunch of other content creators that they loved it, but for me personally, just did not work for me. So of the few concealers that I really do enjoy from the drugstore, one of them I am wearing today right now, and it is the NYX Cosmetics. This is the Bear With Me Concealer Serum. The difference with this one is it's very nourishing. It gives me more of, I'm going to say like more of a medium to full coverage. And the other thing that I didn't do today was I didn't put any color corrector under my eyes. I just wanted to kind of show you the concealer, what it does, what it looks like without any help from a color corrector. You can kind, like I'm going to say, see a little bit of my darkness poking through, like very, very slightly. I have yet to find a concealer that totally gives me full coverage without making my under eyes look like really old. So this one, the only beef I have with this one is it doesn't come with like a wand. It has like a pump top. So I'm not the biggest fan of that part because sometimes it's actually hard to adjust. Like if I'm even trying to, I just need a little bit of this. Like I don't need a lot. So when I dispense it, I find I get just like sometimes like a big blob of it. You can use this actually on different parts of your face. So you can, if you have hyperpigmentation or any freckle, or like all those little things that you just want to, even out your skin tone. This is great for that. You can just use it for even spot. Instead of using like a foundation, throw this on your face instead of using foundation. So I really, really like this one. I have this one in the shade beige, but this one, very hydrating, doesn't look all dry by the end of the night, so I enjoy that one. And then the other product, if you're one of my Canadian viewers, one of the concealers I'd like is the Koi Beauty, or it's the one that's you can get at like Loblaws and Shoppers Drug Mart. This one I like because it does have like a wand, and the coverage is quite nice. So that's it right there. It's gonna give me more of like a medium type of coverage. But you can build it up just a little bit if you need to. But look at how well that blended in. Really super hydrating, silky soft, doesn't accentuate my fine lines by the end of the night. So really looks really nice. I find that the NYX and then this next one I'm going to show you, I don't get a lot of like settling under my fine lines under my eyes. I don't get like all of that little bit of residue and stuff like that. So the next drugstore one is the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Concealer. I've had this on my channel a lot because it is really such a great concealer. Has one of those little sponge applicators, but I don't personally use that. I either use my fingers or I use like a concealer brush. But this one is really, really lovely on the skin. Very hydrating. That's it right there. And you can see, like, even as I'm moving my hand around, like, look at that nice radiance. Very buttery texture. Never, ever looks dry under my under eyes. And the coverage is really decent. So those are my two go-tos right now. Moving right along to eyeshadows. So this was one of those products that came out and I thought, okay, well, that looks great. It's nice and compact. I know the brand. They usually have really good products. So I'm going to pick this up. And even though the price point kind of made me kind of go, ooh, geez, it was quite expensive. Like, I'm not going to say this was affordable. So what I'm talking about is the Maybelline. They're called Shadow Blocks. There's several shades of these. And what the gimmick is behind it is each eyeshadow, so there's 3 eyeshadows and they're stacked in this little compact. There is like a nice little shade there. This one I don't know why it just kind of broke off. So there's that shade there. And that was the shimmer shade. And then there's another matte shade. So 2 mattes and 1 shimmer. When I went to use this, started applying it on, like I first started off with like this one here, like the nicer shade. I just found them very powdery, like for a Maybelline brand. I've gone like this, and the pigmentation just was not there. And as I was applying it on my eyes, it was like I was having some fallout. I found the one shade was just like really hard to blend out. So I was like, okay, well I am not liking this. And I tried them several times. Like this isn't that I try a product and then that's it. I've, not going to use it again kind of thing. I do persevere and try using it. So there's a point where I get to and I'm like, okay, this does not work for me. So whatever formula that they used in these, just did not care for it. Now, as an alternative, if you are somebody that likes Maybelline eyeshadow, then the palette that I recommend, and this one I had, I think it was one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes a couple of years ago, and it's the Nudes of New York palette. Well, this is a fantastic palette. I love the shadows in here. They blend really nicely. I love the color story, looks great. They're not like dry and chalky. Sometimes if the eyeshadow is like really dry, it'll accentuate all of my wrinkles that I have going on up here. But so I've used a couple of different shades from different palettes today, and I'll show you the other ones that I'm talking about. But today I used, I believe it was this one here I used. But like you can see, like my eyes don't look dry. They don't, like my wrinkles on my eyes aren't being accentuated, anything like that. This is I love this Maybelline palette. That one's awesome. But if you're somebody that is looking for like the size or the compact kind of product that maybe you're going traveling or that sort of thing, then I have a couple of brands and I've shown them on my channel a lot, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. One of them is any of these little e.l.f. bite-sized palettes. These are fantastic. The quality is great. They are so affordable. And I think there's like $3 or $4 for these. And it's shocking how affordable they are. And they are just great quality. So I love all of these. I have a bunch of those. And then the other ones that I would recommend is the Essence. So I have the 4 right here. I have 4 different shade palettes. These ones are great because they give you lots of choices of like look at there, each little palette you get 6 different shades, and I mixed some of this in there today on my eyes. I mixed a couple of other palettes just to kind of give me like a neutral look, but I used a bunch of the shades and they are awesome. Like again, the Essence are great quality, super affordable. I think these ones are like $5. What's great about these is that they even have like a mirror. They're great. They're blend like a dream. No issues with that. Don't get a lot of fallout, surprisingly. Now we'll get into one of the products that I have like a little obsession over, and that's mascaras. I am a mascara junkie. Love trying different mascaras. Usually my go-to are L'Oreal. Love, love, love L'Oreal mascaras. All of them, tried all of them. So when they came out with a new one, I'm going to say like last year, I was like, oh, yay, a new mascara, awesome. And this was such a fail for me. And I had a bunch of people in my comments because I actually had it like as a fail in one of my videos, and people were like, "Oh, I really like that mascara and stuff." And I always say, keep in mind, just because it doesn't work for me, it may work for you, and if you love it, that is awesome. I'm glad it works for you. But the one that came out was the L'Oreal Luminous Noir Balm. What I laughed about was because on the packaging, so there's all the claims that they always have on there. One of them is up to 7 times fuller lashes, volume, all the claims. And this was just like, this did nothing for my lashes. There was no volume. There was no lengthening. They just looked sparse. Like my lashes just looked sparse. The wand was just kind of like weird looking. I don't know. It was the wand is actually really soft. Like it's kind of like a flexi wand. When you go to actually put it on, I don't know. It just did nothing for me. The formula was quite soft. I will say, like as I was putting it on my lashes, like it felt very soft. They like when I'm looking for a mascara, I want my lashes to actually look like they have mascara on them, because I have the the little short stubby lashes. They really have become quite sparse over the last few years. So I'm always looking for a mascara that will give me all of that. Now, I have really never been the biggest fan of CoverGirl mascaras. I don't know why. It's either the formula, the wand doesn't work. Like, I have tried several CoverGirl mascaras. None of them have worked for me. So this one was another, but you know what? I persevere. I try. I'm not going to say, no, I'm never trying that brand because they have, not great products. I do like to try them, right? Because you never know. You might come across a good one. This was another fail for me. And this was, I'm bringing this one up because it was kind of the last time I bought a CoverGirl mascara. And it's the CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume, the one in the orange tube. This one just, again, was awful. There was nothing what I'm looking for. The wand is really strange looking. Where are the the little bristles? Like, there's no bristles. It's just like you're running product on your lashes, and I found this one was clumpy and it flaked, and so it was just a massive fail for me. What has made me so happy is CoverGirl recently came out with a new mascara, and I was very hesitant. I'm like, oh, should I try another CoverGirl mascara? I've had so many fails. I will say I am very pleasantly surprised and very glad to say I think I have found a good CoverGirl mascara that is doing what I want it to do. So this is the CoverGirl. This is the Lash Blast Cleantopia. I think this has only like recently been out for maybe a month and a half, but I've been using it behind the scenes. Oh, this is so wonderful. First thing I like is actually the wand and the handle on the wand. So I have smaller hands, so I always try and watch products as I'm using them. Sometimes a product can be quite big in my hand and I don't like how it feels. But this wand is actually quite nice. Like, it's a nice little handle. But if you can see the product and the wand, it's more of one of those hourglass type of wands. So it really captures the lashes, and so I am wearing it today. Well, you can see, like, I actually have lashes. Like, there was lengthening, there was some volumizing. It got all into like the corner here where I have like little my little lashes. It caught all of those. Sometimes I have troubles getting these end lashes right here. It caught all of those. And the formula is great. Like, it's not like a tubing mascara, but it removes actually quite nicely at the end of the night. I used just my regular cleanser and it came off. Yeah, I just think this is like one of the better mascaras from CoverGirl that I've tried in a really, really long time. So really enjoying this formula. Next products we're going to talk about is blush. So I have two fails on the blush front. I was actually surprised by, because I do like this brand. And for the amount of money I spent on this, I was quite disappointed. So the first product is the Pixi On The Glow Blush. So this is called a tinted moisture stick. You can use this apparently as a blush, but you can also use it like on your lips as a tint kind of thing. So it comes basically like just what it says. It's a stick. I used it a couple of different ways. I tried applying it, like sweeping it on my cheek. I also tried using it like with a brush and dabbing a brush and doing it that way. And I don't know whether it was just the shade. There is several different shades of this, but for whatever reason, this just did not work for me. I didn't like the color. There's not enough pigmentation. And I mean, I love the convenience of it. I thought this was going to be a great thing, right? Like, throw a stick. It's one of those things, if you go traveling, you can kind of have it in your bag. Anyhow, by the end of the night, like it had faded on my cheek, and for it to say like it's a kind of a tint, yeah, I wasn't impressed. Like, I think I spent, this was like 21, or I'll put the price up when I find it, but this was like in the $21, $22 or something, and that's Canadian. And then the second product this is like a total fail. This one, I don't even know how they can call it a blush. This was not a blush. So it's the Revlon. It's called the Insta Blush. thought, oh, like I love using like sticks and the convenience of it, right? Just kind of throw it on. So it twists up. First of all, the shade, now I picked up the shade. Where's my glasses here? The shade I picked up, this is called Rose Gold Kiss. So by that, you know, description, you would think, oh, okay, that sounds like it's going to be like really kind of pink and everything. Well, I'm going to do this right in front of you guys. So can you see, like can you see anything on my hand right now? So can you see really nothing? Like seriously, that is awful. Like there is barely anything that, you know how much you would have to throw on your cheek? Like there's nothing, you guys. So I was like, are you kidding me? So what I actually have used this for is more of like a highlighter, because there's nothing else that I can use it for. It just, one of the most awful products I've used for as a like a blush. No pigmentation. Even like this, like that little blop that came off there, even if you try and rub that in, like there's, look at, like it does nothing. That gave me a good chuckle actually, because I don't know how they classified it. I don't know if it didn't go through the quality control or something, but awful product. Anyhow, a blush that I will highly recommend. I've had it on my channel a gazillion times, and I think this is one of the best drugstore blushes out there for pigmentation. And for pigmentation, this one blows the socks off of everybody. It is the NYX Sweet Cheek blush. Wow, these ones are amazing. I have this shade here on my cheeks today. So this is Nude. And what's unique about this product is it's almost like a concealer type of wand. Comes like that. This shade is just gorgeous. Is that one right? Oh, no, right there. Beautiful shade. And then the other shade is Coralicious. This is so gorgeous for the summertime. Like, look at that shade there. It is gorgeous, but it's not that bright. Like, when you put it on, it's scary at first because you go, oh my goodness, like, am I going to be like, look like I have like bright cheeks? But it doesn't do that. A couple of warnings about this. You have to act fast. I'll demonstrate putting it on. Start off really small. So I put like 3 little dots on, and then immediately I blend that in. A suggestion I will say, don't put on like the 3 dots on this side of your face, put the 3 dots on that side of your face, because by the time you get over to this side of your face, it's already drying. So just do one cheek at a time. But this is super pigmented, stays on all day. I never have any issues with it fading or anything like that. I love the formula. I just love how the convenience of it. You can adjust it. So if you want, like, I'm not a big, huge, like, glowing blush type of person on my cheeks. I like more of a subtle look. So you can adjust this. If you want more blush, then put a few more dots on your face. I compare this actually one to the Rare Beauty blushes, if you've ever used those ones. Those ones, again, are super pigmented. But these are like so much more affordable. Okay, getting down to the nitty gritty here. So I always like putting a little bit of color on my bottom waterline. Now, this isn't something that I do every single day. I do like my eyes to look a little bit brighter, and so I always try and find a good eye pencil that will do that. So this one was such a huge fail for me. It says that it's like a gel liner, and there is completely like no gel in this liner at all. Like, I don't know where they're getting that term from. What I'm talking about is the Revlon. This is the Color Stay Micro Eyeliner. So it says it's waterproof, lasts all day. I went to use this in my waterline and it broke. Like, I'm like, huh? This is, so if I'll run it along my hand here. So right now, did you see that? It just broke again. So there it is there. Can you see that? So that just broke off again. So I'm not kidding. I really am not kidding. All right, so you saw it break, and now as I'm trying to twist more product out, like I can't even get the product out. It's stuck. So, okay, so I'm not even going to go into this one. It is awful. Awful. What I will say, so when I maybe can get the product out, It is the hardest pencil I have ever used in my, it was actually felt like it was scratching my bottom waterline when I was trying to put the pencil in there. I have never used a pencil like this ever, and I will never ever buy anything like this ever again. It was awful. It was hard and not creamy at all, none of that. So the pencil that I will say, if you're looking for a nice, like just like a cream color, like that's usually my go-to, is like a nice cream color, a waterline color. The odd time I may use brown or black. It depends on what kind of look I'm creating, but for the most part, I'll use like a cream color. So this is my very well used Rimmel liner. I believe this is Scandalize is the actual name for it. Like, it's so worn off. Like you can see there's no printing left on it. But this is so great. This is waterproof. This stays in my bottom waterline. I'm not going to say it stays in there the whole entire day. I have yet to find a waterline pencil that does stay in like all day. Really hard to find one. But this lasts, I'm going to say, a good 5-6 hours. Super creamy, like really, really creamy. I'll add a little bit more to my eye here. It doesn't feel hard on my eye. It's a very soft pencil, really super pigmented. Okay, so this is too funny. I just shut the camera off for a second. I'm like, okay, I really want this to try and work again. So I did. It started coming up. It started, the Revlon one started coming up. So here we go. So here is, now I love the idea of how small this is. Like, look at how precise that looks. But as I am putting this on, like I am trying, oh, it's going to break again. Oh, it did. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm not even gonna show this one anymore. This is, so you can see where I'm getting, where this is a fail. So we're just gonna leave it at that. I love trying new lip glosses. I think that lip glosses just kind of complete the look when you have all your makeup on. Again, I'm a big fan of L'Oreal. I thought this would be great. It says it's 8 hour. Now, the Infallible Pro Gloss 8 hour. I have this in the shade. This is, oh my goodness, why do they make stuff so small? This is the shade Pink Opal. So I thought, you know what, I'll give this 8 hours. They're saying 8 hours. I'll give this a little test. This did not last 8 hours. This lasted probably as long as like a regular gloss did. It just was a big fail. That's the color right there. So it is like really nourishing, very hydrating. It lasted maybe a good couple hours. But I don't like it when companies put a claim on a product. Like, where are you getting the 8 hours from? Like that, there's no way somebody wore this for 8 hours. Like, they probably didn't drink anything then, or eat anything, or touch their lips, or put anything around their mouth or anything. There's no way this is 8 hours. So this was a pretty big fail for a lip gloss. And I don't usually judge lip glosses all that harshly. I mean, a lip gloss, I don't expect it to last an infinite amount of time. But that one, I just don't, like I said, I don't like it when they put claims on it like that. The one that I will suggest, and this one, I love this lip gloss. This is the Milani. This is Keep It Full. Now, the difference with this one is it has a little bit of like a plumping effect to it, but it's not like gonna make you feel like a bee sting or like burning, like that kind of product. It's not like that. It's a really like a cooling effect. So all I did today was I wore this lip liner. So this is the NYX retractable lip liner in the shade Nude. This is my holy grail lip liner. I have worn this so many years. I love it. Great one. So that's the color. So I just filled in all of my lip with that color. And then I went in with the lip gloss. So the nice thing about this is it actually has quite a big doe foot applicator. And the shade is so pretty. It's called Champagne. So I'll put some on right now. Let's see how pretty that is. And like right now, I can just kind of feel it. It's just cooling. Yeah, like not like burning or anything like that. It stays on, I'm going to say, a decent amount of time. It's not sticky, which I like. I'm not a big sticky. That's the other thing about the L'Oreal is I found it just a little bit sticky. And you get a decent amount of product in here, actually. That's the shade right there. So really enjoy that lip gloss. So let me know in the comments below whether you have tried any of these products or any of the ones that I'm saying are fails, if you've tried them and you enjoyed them. Like I said, everybody's skin tone is different. Everybody's texture on their skin is different. The type of skin that you may have. Each of these products is just going to work differently on everybody's skin type. So just because it was a fail for me, it may work for you. I hope you enjoyed the alternatives. And let me know if you like these type of videos. I'm going to say I generally don't have a lot of fail type of videos, and the reason for that is I purchase all the products myself. Like I am purchasing everything myself. So when I'm spending my own money on stuff, I really want it to work. That's the whole reason that I'm buying it. When I do actually have products that are fails, I'm quite disappointed because I spent my hard-earned money on those products. So I really had high hopes for them to work. Yeah, for me it's quite disappointing when I have fails. That's why I know I think I've had a few viewers ask me like, you don't have a lot of fails and that sort of thing, and that is one of the reasons, just because I try and buy products that I think are going to, you know, be good and work out and all that sort of stuff. And sometimes they just don't. That's one of the reasons. If you've stuck around this long, I hope you consider subscribing to my channel if you're not already. Make sure to hit that notification bell that's right beside the subscribe button, and that way you're notified whenever I upload new videos. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. That also helps my channel out a lot. And as always, I hope everybody has a great week and a great life, and I'll see you all very soon in my next video. Bye!